You're a punk. Alright, maybe you're not a punk, but what we're going to talk today about is punkwood. It's something that punks ask all the time about when they come to classes. So we all love flint and steel. I mean, flint and steel is like awesome. Like if you're going to make a fire with flint and steel, you just feel good after you do it. But the question that always comes with that is, alright, I have char cloth. Is there anything natural I can use other than char cloth? And yes, there is. It's called punkwood. Now, one thing I can't tell you is that in your specific area you need to find this kind of wood or that kind of wood. It's more about understanding the properties of that wood. What we're looking for is something that feels like a sponge. Yeah, that's right. It's gonna feel like a sponge. It's gonna be, you know, like a dish sponge. We're gonna go out now. We're gonna look for some. It's really easy to find. It's all over the place. What you don't want to find though is something that's just too far gone, too mushy, and is just not working right. So let's look at what the difference is between both. All right, so here we have a down tree, okay? So I can stick my fingers in here and feel this, and there's really nothing here that's easily breaking off, okay? And even though I squish it a little bit and there might be some water coming out of some pieces of it, there's just not chunks of it coming out. Even if I break this off from over here, it still feels like wood. And that's not what we're looking for. If you break off any piece and you're wondering if it's punkwood and it still cracks like wood and you can hear that crack, no good, no good. Okay, next we're gonna look at something like this. So right in here, people will pick this stuff up. Literally, this is already decomposed to the point that it is just dirt. Some of this other stuff is just mush. So if you pick it up and it's just pure mush like this, okay? It's literally just mud held together that looks like wood at this point. No good, no good. And then lastly, we come across something like this. So there's a little bit of mush here, but if you look at this piece and you feel it, it feels like a sponge. So I can break it off. It's not cracking like wood, but it's smushing like a sponge now. See how spongy that looks? Okay, and it's just bouncing back. So this is a really good representation of it. But if you look at this and it squeezes just like that sponge, perfect. And then this process continues the same. You're gonna put it inside your char tin, close that char tin up, and we're gonna place this inside the fire. You can't really overcook it, but you can undercook it. So if you open this up and it just looks sort of brown or it doesn't look charred at all, you need to put it in for a longer time. And then after a while of cooking, bring it out of the fire, let it cool and open it up. It should look just like charred chunks. So you can see there's a whole bunch of them in here. And this is what we call charred punkwood. So here's the thing, with charred punkwood, it's very, very brittle, even more brittle than char cloth. So if I press on this at all, it basically just crumbles away in ash and flies away. So whenever we're gonna light this with a piece of flint and steel, we don't wanna hold that on top of our piece of flint. We wanna use it the opposite way, and we talked about this in other videos. We're actually gonna throw the sparks down into this. So now what we wanna do at this point is throw our sparks down into our tin. So we have our charred there, and we're gonna just throw our sparks down in. There. Give it some oxygen, and then pull our piece out. At this point, I would place this into a bird's nest. So you could see how that thing is ignited at this point. And it's gonna work really, really well. I'd place that inside. And that's how we identify punkwood. It's a very simple process. At the end of the day though, if you are struggling, just remember we're having a good time out here. Pick something up, put it in your char tin, and see if it chars. If it chars, you're golden. If it doesn't work, then just remember what type of wood you put in there and pick something different until you figure it out. That's the fun part of being out here. So give it a shot, work with the kids even with this. Kids love this kind of thing because they get to go out and explore and pick up different kinds of wood and mess stuff up, and it's just a great, great experience. Plus, for more advanced people, it's teaching you that next evolution of fire development. So as always, check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com for all our merchandise and classes. And until our next video, tongue twister, stay in the woods. Oh, flint and steel kits, coalcrackerbushcraft.com.